right, y'all. So this one is for anybody that has looked up the any type of crossmember options for the GMT400, the OBS Chevy trucks. A reminder, mine's a 96. And looking up different types of tubular crossmember options, the one that I came across was the Dirty Dingo double hump crossmember. I couldn't find too much as far as people installing it. I did find one video of a guy. They were doing a what were they doing? They were doing a LS swap, and they used the Dirty Dingo one. And I mean, they explained a little bit, but you know, not too much. And I mean, honestly, for like, you know, do it yourself, or you can figure it out. But it's nice to kind of have an idea of what issues people ran into, because I definitely ran into some issues that it would have been nice to know ahead of time. It would have made it a little bit of faster of an install. But so here's pretty much all the info. It's going to come with all the hardware. It's going to come with the brackets, and the brackets. What's up with the brackets? If you look at them closely, they will tell you what direction is what. Like, they'll point to driver, passenger, and the orientation of which way they go. So yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll see what I went through, and go from there. Now, once you order it, this will kind of make better sense, because I probably should have started this before I even start putting it up under here. But the way that the kit's designed, this bracket here, they actually point, and it says driver. So it would actually go, let's see, this way, because the driver is facing forward, as it should. Now, it lines up with the slots that are in here. There's a slot on each side, and these slots here are what line up with it. And there's bolts that go in. So the thing is, it's not just like the old crossmember. You can't just, you know, unbolt it and just drop it. You got to kind of slide and finagle it a bit in order to get it out. So this one, of course, the same thing. But what I'm thinking is, the problem that's in the way right here, where is it? Ugh. Now what I try to do is get this in place. Get this here in place, and then once it's in place, I'd be able to put the bottom two bolts in to bolt this plate in. And once this plate is bolted in, not all the way, loosely, once it's bolted in, then I can pick up the crossmember itself. And once the crossmember itself is picked up, I can line up the slots, like I just explained, put the bolts through. So the problem is, I am hitting this here. This here is in the way. Well, not the actual tube, but this bracket is in the way. So this bracket has to come off because I'm hitting up against this. And this is the bracket that holds the fuel lines in place. So you can, you know, get creative, come up with something to, you know, hold them in place, or whether you don't want to do it at all. Up to you. But I'm going to unbolt this. I thought it was a 14, but it's not. It's actually a 13. So I'm going to get the 13 on there, get that out, and hopefully be able to get this bracket up there. Okay, so here is my current issue. We got the bracket off that was here that I just talked about. That bracket's off, out of the way, and it gave me some more clearance, but it didn't give me the clearance that I needed. Of course, it was a 13, but now what it's looking like is the filter itself. It's not per se the filter that's in the way right now. It's the feed line coming from the filter up to the engine. Now, here I am about to unbolt something else. There's two bolts. I thought the two bolts would match with this one, because this one was a 13. These two, I kinda want to say is going to be a 10. I'm about to double check that now, but I got like a random 12 just in case. I should have got an 11. Let's see. Wow, yep, definitely an oddball, because the 10 doesn't do it. So this is going to be either an 11 or a 12. Let's see. Wow. Never happening again. Nope, before I even say anything. Wait a minute. The 12 isn't fit. This is, dude, this has got to be a 13. What is going on? No, because now this isn't working. Come on. Wow, okay, so what I think is the case here, I have never touched these since I've owned the truck, but the only thing I think of is maybe they're corroded because they're rusted out. Because the 12 doesn't really go on the way that you would think it would. Let's see this top one. Oh, okay, top one. Top one's a 13. That just came out, which means the bottom one's a 13. But it's rusted. So, I don't feel like going all the way up to get a freaking my Irwin kit. But it looks like I have to. Be back. I got my extractor thingy. This one came in an Irwin kit. I do have another one. Not even sure if you can really see inside of it, but it's like a spiral. It bites into the strip bolt, grips onto it, so that way you can get a good twist, get it out of there. I really hope I don't have to go a size smaller on this. Nope, that did it. I'm redoing my fuel lines in the near future, so just so you know. Oh my gosh, come on. Dirty Dingo, you guys. I gotta do a whole lot of modifying here to freaking get this thing to do what it's supposed to do. And this line's trash anyway, whatever this is. I guess it's supposed to be some sort of a vent. Unbolted the fuel filter clamp off of the rail. I gotta figure out how this is gonna go eventually. But what I can do is at least start the mock-up. That's at least that right there. And by the way, these are 19s. I checked before I got down here, so I was doing minimal fighting. So this is gonna go on top. This is gonna be a doozy to get to with a wrench. Not looking forward to that. Alright, that is one bolt, at least, started. Oh, fudge cookies. Oh. Now, let's see if I can do it again. Wherever the big bolt is. Fudge. Got it. Alright, let me shut up. I'm not liking this too much. Let's take a shot. Ooh! 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 Now we're getting somewhere. I'd rather go in from this side and I can't. You gotta be shitting me, bro. Okay. Yay. Fuck. That's just one. Fucking blows. Alright, so this one started. I figured that it's easiest to get to the nut from being on the outside, and on the inside all I have to do is snake in a wrench just to hold it while I tighten this side. With the bottoms here, from the factory, the bolt head was on the bottom of the frame, while the nut with the excess bolt is sticking out the top. Same thing. Well, no, actually this is vice versa. I guess it's for a safety thing. It probably would have been easier to have the nut on the outside, but I guess with trying to be flush with the ground, or I'm guessing that was the thought process if I had to guess, that's why it was this way. So I put these in the same way. These I left the bolts to the outside, and the goal is to try and now get this next one in. Alright, that one's in. Alright, so at this point, these are at least started a loose fit. Let's try to get a closer look here. At this point, these are started with a loose fit, both sides. Top ones are set in place. Those are also started. That side, I actually never took apart. I left it together. And the reason I left it together is because I figured, I could at least get one side in, and then only have to worry about the opposite. So this side seems like it's going to be less of a problem child. There's no fuel lines, there's none of that crap to fight and contend with. The only thing I have to do now is just get up, go on the opposite side of the car, and start the bottom bolts. And once those are started, then I can figure out this situation here. Because honestly, I wasn't sure. I thought I had it figured out, but now I'm still guessing whether this plate goes like this, or does it flip and go vice versa. I don't know, but we'll see. Alright, so here we are back under successful install, man. So the things that I would say that you should definitely look out for, I mean, I already explained how on that side you have the fuel filter, and the way it's not the filter itself, actually that's the problem. It's the way the line comes off the filter and goes up to the motor. So you see the actual clip back there, the plastic clip that's bolted to the frame that holds the filter. Had to take that off, just slide it back out of the way. And also the bracket that I had mentioned earlier, that had to come off, and it bolted up just fine. And my way of doing it, as far as leaving this side, the L connected, and when I say L, I mean this part here that connects to this back L that actually bolts to the frame itself. I left this side together loosely, put it up in here, and then on that side, like you saw, bolted the main part to the rail, the frame rail that is, and lifted the cross member into place, and then got the 2 bolts in that go in from the sides to connect the 2 plates. So once I got those in lightly, I started to mess with this, and this is where majority of my problem came in. So not sure if it's going to be a problem with the stock trans mount, but one thing I will say is that when I put this aftermarket energy suspension one on, I just bolted it up just like factory. So take that how you want. But what I had to do was I actually had to oval out the holes a bit, the 2 holes that allow the bushing to bolt up to the transmission. Had to open the holes up so that way I could slide it this way more, because these holes, they were not lining up at all. I could not get one to line up. So if it wasn't for me opening those holes up, giving it more length to slide, I would have not been able to get this middle bolt in. But once I did that, middle bolt worked. And also, as you can see, what I was wrong about, I had this bracket here flipped. So this is how the bracket goes. And yeah, tightened it up, sat it in place, tightened those up, and that was it. And what I did was I got behind here with a open-ended wrench, but it was actually the ratcheting open-end. I'll show it to you so you see what I mean. Well, before I do that, let me tell you what these are. So these here at the bottom, these are 19s. So is the opposite side, the nut on the top of the frame. They're both 19s. This here pissed me off. For whatever reason, the nut itself is an 18. On the back side, the bolt is a 16. Not sure why, but that's what it is. What the heck? 18 and 16 on the back side. These are 19s and also 19 on the opposite side. These are simple. These are 14 on both sides. And yep, and so that's all those both sizes. So this is what came in handy for me. I actually bought these because eventually I'm going to want to change my motor mounts, and they recommend getting the really long bendable head ratcheting wrenches. So this one right here, the 19, that's what I used on the big bolts that bolt to the frame, and I had to use the 16 on this one to reach on the back side, and that was to get the back of the sidewall bolts. All right, y'all, mission accomplished, baby, mission accomplished. So it's in. I ain't died yet, so everything obviously stayed together, but I made a couple hits on it, not full passes, just a couple of 60 footers just to kind of like put some stress on it. No noises, no nothing, holds up great. Definitely more clearance as far as running exhaust. You run into less issues, that's for sure. And I wish I would have got a chance to get the dang the weight difference between this and the factory one. The factory one has got to be, I want to say, triple the weight of this one. If you want to say double, fine, but I would definitely say triple. And the cool part is, I mean, it takes up less space and it's lighter. If you're really trying to like shave weight and like really monitor those pounds, then I mean it's definitely a plus. But it's all in, man. I definitely recommend it. Anybody with a square body, I said square body. Anybody with I actually own a square body, but anybody with the GMT400 platform, OBS trucks, I would definitely recommend doing it. Like it came out pretty well. And now that you've seen all of the crap that I went through to get it on, you're definitely not gonna have to worry about that at this point. So all right, man, anybody this helps, fantastic. Glad it did. And that's it. On to the next one. Peace.